Welcome back, YouTube. Sorry for the little delay there at the beginning, just getting everything set up for the stream here, and we are live once again here for the Toronto Huskies franchise, and we are at the trade deadline. For those of you that missed the last episode in week number 7, we played the Seattle Seahawks, traveled out to the West Coast, and it didn't quite go the Huskies' way as they ended up falling to the Seahawks 35-17, but the game was a little closer than what that score might say. However, we couldn't keep up with Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf despite an almost 200-yard performance by CeeDee Lamb in that game. So if you have not checked that out, definitely go do that because there was a lot of high-flying action from both sides of the football in that game. However, the running attack for both sides was almost non-existent. But anyways, without lingering too much in the past there in week number 7, your Toronto Huskies are now in week 8. We have a bye week here, and it is also the trade deadline. And after a little bit of discussions with a few other teams for the trade deadline, your Toronto Huskies are not actually making any moves here at the trade deadline. They ended up having a lot of discussions with the various teams on some veteran players and would have made some pretty big splashes, except the price tag on a lot of those veterans were a little bit too high. And that is what our insider Reese Recker was saying, at least. So, and if you don't follow him on Twitter, definitely go check that out. Link is in the description. But you're going to want to go ahead and follow him for all the insider info in between episodes and to know when we're live as well. But anyways, so now what that means is we are not going to make any moves here at the trade deadline, and I thought about maybe moving some of our veteran players or maybe trying to acquire some veteran players. Obviously, in the last episode, we saw some players play a little bit poorly for the first time, it felt like, including Demario Davis, as well as on the back end, Jalen Thompson. So thought about maybe moving those players or both of them, one of them. And I also thought about moving some of the veteran players who are further down our list and they're no longer starters anymore, including guys who played a pretty big impact role last season, like Josh Bynes and a couple other guys like Rashad Jones. And no one quite seemed as interested as I would have hoped for those guys. I feel like they are going to provide better use in terms of for us as depth than going out and trading them for like a 5th or 6th round pick. So I think that it would be better for us to just hold on to them instead and see what happens moving forward. So this time, unlike last year, the Toronto Huskies are not making any moves at the trade deadline. So we will go ahead and advance this thing past that and into week number 9, in which we finally are back at home and very excited to get back at home once again, being able to focus more on the home atmosphere, which I think has been lacking over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the Toronto Huskies have been traveling the last few weeks, and now they get to rest at home, hopefully reinvigorated for a win this week in week number 9. I'm going to check my audio levels before we get into the game, though, make sure that everything sounds good. And it does sound good on my side. Hopefully it sounds good for you guys. But without further ado, we are going to jump into this game after we do these upgrades real quick. And we do have some young players here, including Floyd Ellis, who had a breakout chance last week and unfortunately was unable to attain what he needed to get that. But look at the ratings on him. He is such an impact player already. As you see, he's still a captain on the team. 2nd year, I believe, now as a captain. And as a rookie, he was a captain, which is kind of crazy to think about. But we're just going to continue to upgrade him, already up to an 83 overall. Really nice player there who I think is going to end up progressing quite well into the future. And then we have Jonnu Smith, who had a very big day last week with 12 receptions, if I'm not mistaken. and he ended up having one of the biggest days on the offense other than CeeDee Lamb. So that was a pretty nice thing to see there from a player who had essentially signed a prove-it deal, and so far seems like he's been proven he deserves an extension. We'll see by the end of the year if we still feel that way. Then you have a Darius Evans, who I gave a little bit of a spotlight to last week, the X Factor rookie here. Very excited to see him progress to be, he's already one of the top 20 linebackers in the NFL, which is crazy to think about. And we're just going to continue to get him up into the 80s now. And what that also means is I believe he gets an ability as well. And as you see here, no outsiders is what they ended up giving him. And I still have yet to figure out whether I can edit those abilities or not. I forget if you can do that in this game. It's been a while since I played this one. So let's focus on Adam Ritter now, the left tackle, superstar rookie left tackle, and someone who I think is going to be a staple on the offensive line for years to come. We're going to make sure he stays a scheme fit for as long as possible here to get that extra experience for him. So I believe that should round out all the things we got to do before jumping into this game. And now we are back at home, like I mentioned, going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers here. 5-2 Pittsburgh Steelers at that, which is pretty shocking, I guess, considering the fact that looking at the NFL right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers in their division, leading their division over the Cleveland Browns, who have won 4 in a row after getting off to a slow start. And the biggest thing that I'm surprised by is that they're led by second-year quarterback Nathan Russell, who previously had a pretty good start to his career. I think he had somewhere around 26 or 27 touchdowns in his rookie season and was solid, but I wouldn't necessarily say that he put them over the edge. However, this season it seems like things have kind of gelled pretty nicely for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so we will have to keep an eye on that moving into this game. But as you see, a lot of these staples like TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, David DeCastro, and a few other veteran offensive linemen are all still there for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but no more Big Ben as their quarterback. It is second-year player Nathan Russell who will be the man at the helm for the Pittsburgh Steelers here. And starting this thing off here in Toronto, those are not your commentators. My name is Tayvikes28, and I will be your commentator today. And I am very excited to have a home game here in Toronto once again. It's been a while, actually, since we had a home game, and it's just the way the schedule fell this year. We have been traveling a lot, but as you see, your Toronto Huskies are excited to get back out here and show off hopefully a victory for the fans, as the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers are coming out onto the football field as well. And as you see there, led by Trevor Nickerson, this here young Toronto Husky squad had their first ever winning streak this season. And it just ended last week, ironically enough. But look at that performance from CeeDee Lamb. 8 receptions, 191 yards. Didn't find the end zone last week, despite almost racking up 200 yards. And it's crazy because if you look at for the Pittsburgh Steelers, their number 3 receiver, Deontay Johnson, in the entire season so far has only 221 yards. So in one game, CeeDee Lamb has almost surpassed him in just one game, which is crazy to think about. So let's get into this thing and see what we can expect for this game. As you see, a pretty nice day out here in Toronto. A very good day for football, if you ask me. They got the stadium opened up today, and you see here the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to start this thing off with Deontay Johnson returning this, as he is the kick return man for this season for them. And let's take a look at what Jacoby Caldwell, excuse me, I kept thinking it was Nathan Russell. I was wrong. Sorry. That is the Bears quarterback, Jacoby Caldwell, second-year player, coming out here, and he's had a pretty good start to the season. 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception on the year. He is protecting the football and playing sound quarterback right now for this Pittsburgh Steelers team, as we have a first down throw here, and it is going to be incomplete. A little bit of an errant pass there, just missing the mark. But as you see for the Steelers, they have a very veteran-based offensive line, a few guys you might recognize from the last decade or so. And they also have Eric Ebron still at the tight end position, as well as Juju Smith-Schuster at the number 1 wideout spot. We'll have to see if the Toronto Huskies can keep him in check today. And here on second down, it's going to be a dump-off pass to the running back. And they don't really have a standout running back right now. They've got Jalen Richard as the number 1 running back, and then sitting out there at number 2, they have Benny Snell Jr. as the number 2 running back. And it's, as you see there, you ended up having a little bit of an errant pass again. That's 2 times already on this drive, and it's kind of crazy to think about the fact that Jacoby Caldwell has been playing so well, and then to start this game off, he's already off to a rocky start for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we see here it's going to be a punt for the Steelers, and a pretty big one as it goes into the end zone. And that's going to be a touchback, and we're going to see Trevor Nickerson leading at this Toronto Huskies offense out there. And as you see, the stats don't look as nice for Nickerson as they do Caldwell. However, as a rookie quarterback, I'd actually think that he has played pretty well this season. Last year last game, he had over 300 yards passing and put up one heck of a performance, just couldn't get the win. And so starting off the day here, it's going to be a handoff up the left-hand side to the new running back, Aaron Jones, and we're going to take a look at the offense. Very, very young offense compared to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a couple of veterans like Latavius Murray, who plays the RB2/fullback on this offense, and a few other guys out there, but they don't have that veteran presence like they did last year, as we have they have the first pass of the day, for the Toronto Huskies, and it goes for a first down. That is Jonnu Smith with his first catch of the day, the new tight end that they acquired through free agency. And then this is going to be another passer to the left-hand side on first down. It gets 8 yards. That's T. Higgins, who was a little quiet last week with only 1 or 2 receptions, if I'm not mistaken. And so now it's going to be a handoff, and this is going to get outside and getting into plus territory. That is Aaron Jones past the 50, up to the 48-yard line as he is bowling over Pittsburgh Steelers defenders. And right now, this Toronto Huskies offense, they are coming out fired up. They are happy to be back in Toronto. They're trying to put on a show for the home crowd right now. And it's nice to see as well, especially after the way that game finished last week for the Toronto Huskies. It was a little rocky towards the end out there in Seattle. But here we go. We have a pitch here on first down, and Aaron Jones trying to get through traffic, unable to do so, though, and he goes down for a loss of 3. So that's going to be 2nd and 13 now, with about 8 minutes to go in that first quarter. As you see there, he was trying to jump over a couple of downed linemen and also trying to get out ahead of the linebacker there, but was unable to do so. So now it's going to be 2nd and 13. Nickerson is in the gun. They've got a couple receivers to the left-hand side here. And this is going to be a handoff, though, up the middle, and that is Aaron Jones, who gets taken for Toronto. Pittsburgh not helping themselves out here. And that's going to actually put them inside field goal range at the 33-yard line. And just like that, Toronto has an opportunity to take the lead and score the first points on the day already. So now 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Under center is Trevor Nickerson. A couple receivers to the right-hand side this time. And they're trying to run it again to that left-hand side. Aaron Jones with nowhere to go, though, getting some pressure through this defense. As you see, the defensive line, very veteran heavy up there. A couple of staples, including Stephon Tuitt and Cam Hayward, as well as you see a lot of these guys will be familiar to Steelers fans and non-Steelers fans even, because it is a pretty veteran-based defense out there in Pittsburgh. So Nickerson's going to have his work cut out for him today, as it's going to be a reception here over the middle there, and that's going to be, I believe, Keontae Bonds, who was very quiet last week. Didn't do much at all, but immediately gets on the board here with a reception of 19 yards on the slant route, cuts it upfield. Unfortunately, gets shoestring tackled there just before he can break that thing into the end zone. But that does set them up with a 1st and 10 inside the red zone at the 14-yard line here, as Nickerson and company are moving down further and further towards the end zone. And it looks like they're going to shift Latavius Murray outside. Nobody is covering him right now, and Nickerson instead drops it off, though, on the left-hand side, and that is a gain of 0 there on 1st down. Jonnu Smith does make the reception, though. So now it's going to be 2nd and 10 in I formation, faking to the running back and going back over the middle in some traffic, but able to complete the pass there. That is CeeDee Lamb. After that monster performance last week, he gets his first catch here today, and it's for a 1st down. Setting up a 1st and goal now at the 4-yard line. Breaking tackles and into the end zone. That is Aaron Jones, and he is spinning through defenders and finding his way to 6 points. And that is going to be a Toronto Huskies touchdown to take the lead, 6-0, 7-0 pending the extra point here. And it's nice to see Aaron Jones get on the board after he really struggled last week against Seattle, and it was unlike him. He actually had a fumble in that game, as well as just a very, very low yards per carry last week, and that's not like him throughout this season. He's been one of the focal points of this offense and one of the bright spots throughout the beginning part of the year. As you see there, very good drive, 10 plays, took about 5 minutes off the clock here, and gets them on the board. So now Toronto's going to be kicking this one off back to Pittsburgh, and it looks like it is going to be returned from about the 5-yard line out past the 20, past the 25, getting up to the 30, and they're going to mark him down at the 31-yard line. Pretty good return there for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Deontay Johnson. So weird to see him as a return man. But here is Jacoby Caldwell, the 2nd-year quarterback here at the helm once again, hoping to have some better production than he did on that first drive. As you see, going with a quick pass over to the right-hand side, and that's going to be completed for about a 6-yard gain on 1st down. So now it's 2nd and 4 here, as he has a few receivers here to the right-hand side, but they fake it to the running back and go over the middle here, and that is going to be complete. And I believe that is James Washington, the number 2 receiver for Pittsburgh. As you see there, it looks like he beats Marshawn Lattimore, who has been really struggling recently for this Toronto Huskies team, and that's not what they need right now, because they signed him to be the number 1 guy, and right now he can't cover number 2 or number 3 receivers right now, let alone number 1s. And it's going to be a handoff here on 1st down, spinning around a defender, but eventually getting taken down by Floyd Ellis, the defensive tackle. And as you see, this is a very young defense with a couple of veterans on each level. We got Demario Davis in the middle. Up front, you got Ryan Kerrigan, and on the back end, you have Big Play Slay as the number 2 corner. So each level has their veteran presence, but for the most part, it's a lot of young guys on this Toronto defense. So now it is 2nd and 8, and Jacoby Caldwell has a little bit of time, but eventually gets rid of it out there to Jalen Richard, who is the number 1 running back out there in Pittsburgh. Not much of a standout running crew, as I mentioned before. However, here, 3rd and 8, it is going to be a quick pass to the right-hand side, and unfortunately, underneath, not enough to get the 1st down, and that means that it's going to be a punt here again for Pittsburgh. As you see there, he was hoping for his running back to be able to make a man miss, but that is Demario Davis, coming up and making the tackle there. It's nice to see him start to play a little bit better. He struggled last week for the first time this season, and it seems like that was a trend, and they're actually going for the field goal here, and this is a long one, and they almost got it. Wow, what a kick there by Chris Boswell, and it looks like we got some wind out here in Toronto today, as that was a monster kick, but it was just short, as you see, and a little bit actually to the far left, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But what that means to me is that we might see some long field goals today, as that one was actually taken from the 43-yard line. So pretty long one there for Pittsburgh, but it sets up Toronto at midfield to really good starting field position here, as they're going to start off with a handoff up the middle to Aaron Jones, who has nowhere to go, as he is tackled in the backfield by Bud Dupree. That means it's going to be 2nd and 11 here to start off this drive. It's now 2nd and 11 with 2 receivers to the right-hand side here. They're going to fake the throw outside and go instead to the running back here with a handoff. That's going to be a decent gain of about 5 yards for Aaron Jones. So now it's 3rd and 6 at the 46-yard line. And Nickerson is setting up a screen pass. He gets it off to Aaron Jones, and he's breaking tackles and gets out of bounds for a first down. And Nickerson still perfect on the day so far, 6 for 6. And that is a first down for Toronto. And just like that, Toronto is nearing field goal range. This is very unlike Pittsburgh to have such a veteran-based defense and not perform well. Usually when they have veterans out there, they're always swarming to the ball, and it seems like they can't get on the same page today, as Nickerson has plenty of time in the pocket there and finds a man on first down for another first down, excuse me. That is Aaron Jones for 14 out of the backfield. And now Nickerson goes for another quick pass here, this time to the left-hand side, and that's going to get outside for another first down. That's 13 more. I believe that is Keontae Bonds with his 2nd reception. And so now they're going to fake to the running back and go instead, once again with the passing game, getting down to the 1-yard line. That is CeeDee Lamb, once again setting up a 1st and goal for this Toronto team. At the 1-yard line, Nickerson, though, is going to fake the handoff and take it in himself. What a play. Trevor Nickerson, who does have a little bit of speed himself, fakes to Aaron Jones, has the entire Pittsburgh defense biting, and just walks that one into the end zone for Toronto's 2nd touchdown of the first quarter, which means they take a 13-0 lead. Pending the extra point, it'll be 14-0. And just like that, Toronto is really putting on a show for the home crowd. And as you see on the sideline, the Steelers defense, they're a little upset. They're trying to figure out what is going on and how they can fix this. They need to make some changes there on defense, and they need to do it pretty quickly here. So Toronto's going to go ahead and kick this one off, returning once again, this time from about the 6-yard line, is Deontay Johnson out to the 26, a return of about 20 yards there. So Jacoby Caldwell and company come back out onto the football field. This is their 3rd attempt at this, and so far they haven't had much success. It's been the last drive was the most successful one, getting out there towards midfield, a little bit past midfield, but this is going to be a handoff on first down. Getting some room out there is Jalen Samuels, the 3rd running back here, and that's going to end the first quarter. So heading into the second quarter, it is a 14-0 Toronto lead right now. However, Pittsburgh has the football with an opportunity to cut that lead in half. So now 2nd and 2 at the 34-yard line. They got some extra big bodies out there, and they're going to put a man in motion from left to, well, right, sort of. And they're going to go ahead and fake it to the running back, instead going outside here to the left-hand side, and that's going to be complete. I believe that is Eric Ebron with the reception. So now it's going to be a fake, and instead, actually, they do go to the running back, and what a play there by Jalen Richard, who breaks a tackle and gets a first down there. Gain of about 14 or so, if I'm not mistaken. As you see there, they fake a throw to the outside, kind of do a little bit of a misdirection, and instead hand it off to Jalen Richard, and he breaks off the Logan Wilson attempted tackle and runs forward for an extra 8 yards. So now it is going to be Caldwell alone in the backfield, and he tries to run, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Ryan Kerrigan gets off of his block and grabs him for a sack. That is that veteran presence up front, getting to the second-year quarterback as he tries to take off and run with it. I'm not sure if that was a designed run or if he just felt like he had an opportunity there, but either way, the lane there he was running, closed pretty quickly. So now it is 2nd and 12 at the 47-yard line. Back under center is Caldwell, and he's going to hand it off to Jalen Richard, who breaks outside and gets about 5 yards there, as Quincy Williams coming up with the tackle. So now it is 3rd and 7 at the 42-yard line, and it is going to be a pass here, and instead it's going to be actually a run by Caldwell, who goes ahead and gets up about 5 yards, and they're going for it on 4th and 2. They are going to go for it. Very interesting play call here, and it is actually a good one as they do convert only about 4 yards there, as it's a short pass to Eric Ebron, but he makes a man miss and gets up there past the yard to gain mark. And just like that, the Pittsburgh Steelers have another first down. It's now 8 minutes to go in the second quarter here, and back under center is Caldwell. He's going to have a quick throw over the middle, and that is very errant right there. Not sure if he expected his receiver to take a different angle on that route or not. But 2nd and 10 now, they go back to the running game, and this is going to be a handoff to Jalen Samuels, getting a couple on that one, setting up a 3rd and 8 as they are already in field goal range. And it's going to be a low snap and a handoff here, and that's going to go for about 1 yard, as I believe that is Ryan Kerrigan making the tackle. Once again up front, making plays, the veteran. All right, they have Chris Boswell coming out to attempt this field goal. And he's got plenty of leg, and that is going to be good, putting the first points on the board for Pittsburgh, and that is going to be a 3-14 deficit that they now have. 11 points in Toronto's favor right now. All right, and now Pittsburgh kicks this one back to Toronto, who returns it out past the 25 to about the 26. And that is going to be where they start this one off, as Nickerson and company will be coming back out there and hopefully continuing their success from the first two drives. All right, Nickerson's going to drop back here, have plenty of time in the pocket, moving free, getting in there for a sack. As you see, Nickerson didn't like what he saw downfield, so he tried, and eventually will get to you. So now Trevor Nickerson and company are setting up for a 2nd and 13. And he's going to drop back here and throw over the middle. That is Aaron Jones out of the backfield, breaking 2 tackles and getting past the first down marker. That's a gain of 15 on 2nd and 13. And Nickerson is still perfect on the day, 10 for 10. And as you see, the crowd is erupting as Aaron Jones not only breaks 1 tackle, but 2 tackles in a row on that play and just runs forward for about 15 yards. It's now back under center. It's going to be a quick throw outside and getting a little bit of room out there, about 5 yards for Keontae Bonds. So now Nickerson is alone in the backfield on 2nd and 5. And it's going to be a quick throw outside, and this is going to be complete, getting about 4 yards. I believe that is Aaron Jones with his 4th reception on the day. So now it is 3rd and inches, and they are going to fake it to the running back, and once again, it is going to be Trevor Nickerson taking off and running for the first down. This must be a new element to this offense for Toronto, something we haven't seen yet this season. And I think they are deciding to open things up a little bit, give Nickerson a little more of the playbook now that he's about 8 weeks into this season. His rookie campaign, they feel like he can take on a little bit more of the load for this offense. So now at midfield, they are in I formation, and it's going to be a pass, though. Quick one over the middle, and that is intercepted, as I believe that is Minka Fitzpatrick, excuse me. It's hard to see there as they were conglomerated right there in the middle as Minka Fitzpatrick with the interception, and Nickerson, his first incompletion of the day, is an interception. So that sets Pittsburgh up with pretty good field position, almost at the 50-yard line. And so now they're spreading it out wide here on 1st and 10. Pittsburgh drops back here, and it's going to be a quick throw over the middle. All the space in the world for, I believe that is Jalen Richard. Excuse me, Jalen Samuels. There's so many Jalens on this team, it seems like. So they're going to put a man in motion here, right to left for Pittsburgh. It's going to be a quick throw over the middle, and that is complete for about 9 yards. That's James Washington with the reception. So now 2nd and 1, they go back to the running game here, and it's going to be just enough to get the first down. That is Jalen Samuels for a gain of about 1. So now 2.5 to go in this 2nd quarter, and it's going to be another handoff, and this is going to be going for about 3 yards. This time it's Jalen Richard. Seems like they have about a 3-headed running attack out here in Pittsburgh. So they go back to the running game again, this time slipping through some defenders. I believe that is Jalen Samuels with the first down carry, and that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning, and Pittsburgh is driving right now. Inside the red zone, it's 1st and 10 coming out of the 2-minute warning at the 17-yard line. A couple of receivers to the right-hand side, and they go over the middle and wide open with no one between him and the end zone. That is Eric Ebron with the touchdown for Pittsburgh. As you see there, that looks like it is once again Demario Davis getting beat. I have been seeing this too much recently. He's going to need to pick it up. Otherwise, we're going to have to look elsewhere on the roster for a possible replacement. Maybe we see the rookie J.J. Mirable get in at some point. We'll be curious to see what happens moving forward. So the score right now is 14-10 as the Huskies still have the lead, but they have cooled off since the beginning of this game, as it's been all Pittsburgh since then, 10 unanswered points. However, Toronto is going to get this football with about 2 minutes to go in this first half, with an opportunity to extend the lead before halftime. They're going to start this drive off at the 27-yard line as Davis has a pretty good return there. As you see, Nickerson, with the one blemish on the day, was the only incompletion. Otherwise, he's been perfect throughout this nice afternoon in Toronto. So they're going to start this thing off with a throw here as Nickerson is under pressure, trying to step up and goes down. That is Cam Hayward with the sack. That is going to be now 2nd and 16 with the clock running. I'll be curious to see how Toronto views this, whether they try and go and hurry up or if they try and take some time off the clock. So they've got a minute 15 to go, and they are in I formation here, Toronto, with some extra big bodies on the field. Looks like they're going to be running it here, and they're going to fake it to the running back, actually, and get sacked again. Oh my gosh, this offensive line is struggling all of a sudden, and that is 2 straight sacks. Timeout here from Pittsburgh with a minute 4 to go. It's 3rd and 23. Under center, putting a man in motion from left to right, and they go with the handoff, just getting some extra yards up the middle, and that's going to be about a 4 or 5 yard gain. And the second timeout from Pittsburgh is taken. They've got 1 left with about a minute to go on the clock. This is a Matt Hack punt, and it looks like a pretty good one here, as it is going to be just inside the end zone for a touchback, almost pinning them at the 1. So Pittsburgh has 80 yards to go to find the end zone with 52 seconds and 1 timeout. Can Caldwell make something happen before halftime? As they're going to go ahead and start this thing under center. However, it is a pass, and Caldwell dumps it off over to the running back, and that's going to be a gain of 7 to start this drive off. However, they're going no huddle here. 2nd and 7, 32 seconds and counting here, as Caldwell is dropping back and throwing over to the left-hand side. That is complete and using the sideline to get out of bounds. That's going to be a 1st and 10 at the 33 now. A 6-yard reception for Deontay Johnson. And sending a blitz here. However, there's a flag on the field as looks like Pittsburgh gets the completion, but it is going to be coming back because that is Marquise Pouncey with a hold in the middle of the offensive line. So now it is 1st and 20 at the 23-yard line, and they're going to go ahead and just hand this one off with some room, though. Getting up there and taking their final timeout is Pittsburgh with 17 seconds to go. It is 2nd and 8 at the 35-yard line, spreading it out wide. Caldwell drops back, looks to the left-hand side, and do they get out of bounds? And it looks like they're going to give it to them out of bounds, so it's 3rd and 4 at the 39-yard line. And now Caldwell drops back under pressure and throws this one deep, and that is going to be broken up and almost intercepted by the rookie Jaquil Easter, diving for that. Is unable to get to it, though. So it's now 4th and 4 at the 35-yard line. As you see, Caldwell gets that ball to Deontay Johnson as he gets hit, but because of the pressure, it wasn't the most accurate football. So now it is 4th and 4, a punt here, and it looks like they're just going to let this one slide down and down to the 7-yard line here. Pretty good punt there for Pittsburgh. With about 1 second left on the clock, I fully expect to just see either a run or a kneel down here. And they are going with the kneel down here to end this first half. So Toronto goes into halftime with a 14-10 lead here in Toronto at home, putting up some pretty good showcasings for the home crowd. So let's take a look around the league, though, here at halftime, see what is happening. And we're going to start this thing down in Miami, where Houston right now leads the Patrick Mahomes-led Miami Dolphins 14-7. And Mahomes only has one pass on the day, but it is for a touchdown. So going up to Philly now, the Chargers are beating up on the Carson Wentz-led Eagles 24-14 at halftime, and Joe Burrow is looking very good out there for the LA Chargers. And then we're going even further north up there to New England, where Tennessee is traveling to the Cam Newton-led Patriots, and right now leading behind the arm of Ryan Tannehill, not behind the legs of Derrick Henry, surprisingly. And that's going to wrap up our halftime check-in. And looking back at what happened in the first half in our game, Toronto started this thing off hot and then slowly cooled down and have just been in a funk ever since. It's been 10 straight unanswered points from Pittsburgh, and Toronto's going to need to do something here to start off the second half to get the momentum back. As you see, Nickerson's been under a little bit of pressure of late. And I'm wondering if that's going to get to the rookie quarterback or not. So now here under center is Nickerson. On first down, it's going to be a handoff, and that is getting blown up in the backfield by, I believe, Stephon Tuitt. A 4-yard loss on first down, making it 2nd and 14 now for this Toronto team. And that is just not the way they needed to start this second half. And they're going back to the running game here, and with nowhere to go, Aaron Jones falls down again behind the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 3rd and 15 now. And Toronto's going to need to do something here. Otherwise, they're going to be forced to have a 3 and out to start off this second half. And their woes continue after starting off red hot for this Toronto team. So it is 3rd and 15, 3 receivers to the left-hand side for Nickerson. And he's going to fake the handoff and drop back and throw it deep over there to the left-hand side. And that is going to be caught. That is caught by CeeDee Lamb. What a play. 53 yards downfield. And CeeDee Lamb just continues to make play after play for this Toronto Huskies team. And that was a one-handed grab over 2 defenders. He didn't even have the positioning to make that catch, but it didn't matter. And as you see, Trevor Nickerson just trusts CeeDee Lamb. He has officially found his favorite target in this offense. When he needs a big play, the first person he looks to is CeeDee Lamb. And it's nice to see them have that sort of connection. So there on first down, it was another tackle for loss on Aaron Jones in the running game. So behind the chains once again here on second down. It's going to be 2nd and 13 at the 28-yard line. In field goal range, however. As it's going to go back to Aaron Jones, and this time getting a couple back and actually gaining about 4 yards on that run. So now it is back to the original line of scrimmage. It is 3rd and 10, and Nickerson's trying to set up a screen pass here, and they get it to Aaron Jones. However, he is unable to get to the first down marker, getting about 5 or 6 yards there on that reception, his 5th one on the day. So that's going to be 4th and 5, and I fully expect to see the field goal unit coming on out here for Toronto. But if they're able to hit this, that is going to give them a 7-point lead once again. And Josh Lambo hits the field goal, and that makes it 17-10 Toronto right now, as they finally get back on the board after 10 unanswered from Pittsburgh to finish out that first half. They finally strike once again. So now Pittsburgh is going to act like they're going to return that one and then have second thoughts. and instead go with the kneel down, meaning that Jacoby Caldwell and company come out here and start off at the 25-yard line. You got 75 to go to find the end zone. So starting this off with a couple receivers to the left-hand side, Caldwell in the gun. And he's going to fake it to the running back here and instead go over the middle. That's going to be complete. That is Juju Smith-Schuster, who's been pretty quiet today, actually. His second catch on the day. But that one was for 19 and a first down. 19 to number 19 there on first down. And just like that, Pittsburgh is rolling once again. It's now empty backfield here, splitting it out 5 wide on 1st and 10. As Caldwell drops back, has plenty of time, finds a quick man over the middle. That is Deontay Johnson with his 3rd reception, if I'm not mistaken. 2nd reception, my bad. So it is going to be a handoff here on 2nd down, and this one goes nowhere, getting actually taken down in the backfield is Jalen Samuels. That is Richie Branch, the young cornerback, coming up to make the play in the running game. It's now 3rd and 5 for this Pittsburgh offense at the 49-yard line. Interesting look for the defense here as they send a little bit of a blitz, and they do get the ball off though, and it is completed over the middle but short of the line to gain. Good defense there to come up and make the tackle. That is Ricky Seals-Jones, the number 2 tight end, with the reception for Pittsburgh. But that's going to set up a 4th and 1. I'll be curious to see if they go ahead and punt this or if they go for it, as it looks like they're going to elect to punt this football away and try and pin Toronto deep. And it's going to just slide into the end zone, which means Toronto is going to get the ball at the 20-yard line. Now, can Toronto continue and build on the success that they had on the last drive and hopefully get this one into the end zone? 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Nickerson is in the gun. He's going to drop back here. A little bit of pressure off the side, and that is going to be a sack for T.J. Watt. That is his 1st sack on the day, but the 4th one for this Pittsburgh defense, as they are getting after Trevor Nickerson today. So now 2nd and 17 at the 13-yard line. In the gun once again. A handful of receivers to the right-hand side, but it's going to go to the running back here, and he has nowhere to go, getting tackled for a 1-yard loss. So now it is 3rd and 18. And Nickerson has his work cut out for him as they try and set up a screen, and instead it is another sack as Cam Hayward gets to him before he can get the ball off. So that's going to be a sack at the 2-yard line, setting up a 4th and 28. Really impressive stuff from Pittsburgh on that defensive drive there, as they were able to get a handful of sacks and just continue to push the Huskies further and further back. So now they're punting from their own end zone and able to get the punt off though, and it was a booming one. Wow, what a punt. Wow, that is crazy. From his own end zone, well in the back of his end zone, all the way to the Pittsburgh 7-yard line. As they're going to down the ball there at the 7, that is going to be counted as well over a 95-yard punt, which is insane. So now Pittsburgh, 1st and 10 from the 7. They elect to hand this one off, and this is going to go for about 5 yards to Jalen Samuels. Now Caldwell drops back here on 2nd and 5 and throws outside to his receiver, who tries to keep his feet in bounds, is able to do so, but only gains about a yard on that. It's going to be 3rd and 4 now as Caldwell drops back here on 3rd and 4, once again going outside, and it was like the same exact play call there and the same exact result. A gain of 1 yard from Ricky Seals-Jones. So now it is 4th and 3 here, and just like that, it's going to be the script flipped here because of the great punt from Matt Hack, and now it is Pittsburgh's opportunity to try and get a good punt, and this one is not quite as good as the one that Hack had. Still a pretty good one though, pinning him at the 39-yard line. So now Toronto comes back out onto the football field with an opportunity to once again extend this lead to a 2-score lead. Got a handful of receivers to the right-hand side here on this first down attempt, as Nickerson is going to fake it to the running back and go deep over the middle, and that is going to be broken up as the receiver had his hands on the football but was unable to bring it in. So now it is 2nd and 10. Under center again, and going to the running back, breaking a tackle but not getting back to the line to gain is Aaron Jones, as Malik Jackson comes in for the tackle for loss. So now it is 3rd and 12 for this Toronto team, again possibly going for a 3 and out if they're unable to get this 3rd down conversion. But they're going to start this off with a handful of receivers to the right-hand side, one to the left, and it is 3rd and 12. Dropping back here is Nickerson. Quick throw over the middle, well short of the yard to gain, and that's going to get about 3 yards, and that is Jonnu Smith's 3rd reception on the day. But that's going to set up a 4th down and another punt here from Toronto. Matt Hawk, after that crazy punt on the last attempt, here is another one, and this one's going well into the end zone, through the back of it, in fact. So it's going to be a touchback for the Steelers, starting the next drive off at the 20. As you see, Jacoby Caldwell having a pretty decent day, 5 incompletions on the day, no interceptions, 1 touchdown. So now under center is Jacoby Caldwell, and he's going to hand this one off, fake it actually, and instead elect to run with it, and that is a bad decision, as Adarius Evans is there to make the sack. The 2nd sack on the day for this Toronto defense. So now back under center here is Jacoby Caldwell, putting a man in motion from left to right. And he's going to drop back and throw to that right-hand side, and completed for a gain of about 11 yards there. And now it's 3rd and 2. They're going to send some extra big men out there on this 3rd and 2. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle, but stuffed in the backfield. That is Jalen Richard, getting tackled by none other than Quincy Williams for no gain there on 3rd down, making it 4th and 2. And I'm assuming another punt here for Pittsburgh. However, that's going to end this 3rd quarter before we get a punt in, so we're going to start the 4th quarter off with that punt. The Huskies going into the 4th have a 17-10 lead. And they're going to start this thing off, and a bobbled punt here, and that is going to be blocked by the Toronto defense, and not only that, but picked up and returned for a touchdown. A scoop and score on the block. What a play by the special teams, as the snap is bobbled by the punter, and by the time he gets a hold of it and goes to punt the football away, there's a man right in his face. And I believe that is Jalen Thompson, who I said needed to step up, who gets through there for the block, and then I believe that is Rashad Jones, the backup safety, the veteran safety at that, who has the scoop and score. So now Toronto leads 24-10 just like that, and they have full control of this game at the start of the fourth quarter. So now another kick return here from inside. Wow, what a good one there too. Inside the 10-yard line, getting out to the 32 is Deontay Johnson, setting the Pittsburgh Steelers up for much better starting field position this go around. So now Caldwell's trying to set up a screen pass here. He gets it to the running back, and he is able to get through one defender, but gets tackled after a gain of about 6 yards there. So now it is 2nd and 4 for Pittsburgh, as Caldwell's going to drop back. Quick throw over the middle. That is complete, and I believe that is James Washington for the first down reception there. Now it's 1st and 10, some extra big men on the field, but it is going to be a pass over the middle, and that is going to be Eric Ebron holding on to the football as the Toronto defense tries to strip it away. It's now about 9 minutes to go in this fourth quarter, as Caldwell's going to drop back and throw over the middle once again, complete again. That is Eric Ebron once more. It's now inside 9 minutes to go, but in field goal range is Pittsburgh, as Caldwell's going to drop back and throw a quick one over the right-hand side, and this is third straight time that Eric Ebron has caught a pass. The 6th reception on the day for Eric Ebron, goes for 4, and so now it's going to be a handoff on 2nd and 6, and a first down for Jalen Richard. And that's going to be an 8-yard run for Jalen Richard, and they are in the red zone now, setting up shop at the 16 for a 1st and 10. So now Caldwell drops back, and it's going to be a quick throw over the middle. That is going to be caught by Juju Smith-Schuster, getting down to the 8-yard line, a gain of 8. Sending the big men back out there on 2nd and 2 here, as we're going to put a man in motion from left to right. And Caldwell under center is going to hand it off up the middle. That is going to be a first down run, gain of 3 from Jalen Richard, setting up a 1st and goal now, just under 7 minutes to go. And Jacoby Caldwell is throwing this one to the end zone, and that is intercepted by the rookie Jaquil Easter. What a play there, as Caldwell tries to make a move there just before he throws, and I think it made him throw that one a little off balance. And because of that, it is intercepted by Jaquil Easter in the back of the end zone, and all of a sudden, all that hard work that Pittsburgh did goes right out the window. So now Aaron Jones and this offense comes back out onto the football field, and it is going to be a 1st and 10 at the 20, as Nickerson is in the gun here, and he's going to hand it off to Aaron Jones as he gets a gain of about 3 yards on first down. So now it's 2nd and 7 with about 6 minutes to go. It's another handoff, and this time getting stuffed in the backfield. That is TJ Watt with the tackle for a loss, and that is going to be 3rd and 10 now, inside 6 minutes to go, but an opportunity for Pittsburgh to force a 3 and out already. So now in the gun is Nickerson as he drops back and throws this one over to the left-hand side, and is completing it, but only for about 3 yards. That is Aaron Jones with the reception, his 6th one on the day. But Devin Bush was there to come up and make the tackle. So now Matt Hawk is in the punt formation here, and it is going to be 4th and 7. And a decent return here, getting about 6 or 7 yards from Deontay Johnson. As you see, Jacoby Caldwell has that one interception that kind of blemished his day there. And they're down 14 points, just inside 5 minutes to go. Can Caldwell make a move here as he starts this thing off with an incompletion on the right-hand side? So now it's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 29-yard line. And dropping back is Caldwell once again, looking to the right-hand side. This time it is completed, but only for a gain of about 2 yards. So now it's 3rd and 8. And Caldwell drops back and throws over to that right-hand side again, this time, though, a little bit deeper, and finding James Washington for a first down here, down to the 45-yard line here, and another Pittsburgh first down, setting up an opportunity for them to chase some more points. So now empty backfield here on 1st and 10 as Jacoby Caldwell is 5 wide receiver set, and he's going to look over to that left-hand side. It is broken up. Dangerous pass there. So now it's 2nd and 10, back under center as Caldwell's going to drop back and throw over the middle. This is going to be complete, but only for a gain of about 3 or 4. That is Zach Gentry with the reception. So now it's 3rd and 5. Back under center is Jacoby Caldwell here on this 3rd and 5. And he's going to drop back here, throw over the middle, and that is going to be completed. And I believe that is Eric Ebron with his 7th reception on the day. And Pittsburgh is in plus territory now, but they are slowly but surely running out of time. So they're going to have to pick the speed up here if they want any chance at winning this football game. Because they've got inside 3 minutes to go in the game at the 40-yard line as Pittsburgh's going to drop back here and throw over the middle. That is dangerous. Somehow James Washington cuts in front of the defender to make that reception before it gets intercepted. And that's going to go for a first down. So now it's 1st and 10. Caldwell is going to go ahead and run this one and gets out past the first down marker. And there's a flag down, though. Is that going to be taken back? And no, that's a face mask on Toronto. That's going to be half the distance to the goal, which means it's going to set up a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line for Pittsburgh with just over 2 minutes to go in this game. So now under center is Jacoby Caldwell. He's going to drop back here and look over to the left-hand side. That is complete, and that's going to be considered short. Zach Gentry, gain of 5 on a 1st and goal from the 6. So that means they're sitting at the 1-yard line as the 2-minute warning approaches here. So now coming out of the 2-minute warning, it is 2nd and goal from the 1. Caldwell drops back, throws to the back of the end zone. That is complete, but that is illegal touching on the offense. It looks like Juju Smith-Schuster stepped out of bounds before he was able to complete that throw there. So now it is 3rd and goal from the 1 once again. And this is going to be under pressure. Caldwell goes down. That is Logan Wilson with the sack. So now it is 4th and goal from the 9-yard line. Jacoby Caldwell throws this one to the right-hand side, and that is intercepted, and returning this down the sideline is, I believe, Jaquil Easter, the rookie, with his 2nd interception of the day, and this one's going 95 yards the other way. A pick 6 for Toronto, and that is going to seal this game, as the Toronto Huskies are now sitting at 30-10, pending the extra point. It's going to be 31-10 with a 21-point lead inside 2 minutes. The Toronto Huskies are certainly putting on a show for the home fans today, and it's the type of performance that this team needed to get back on track, and against a playoff team right now at that. So that's pretty impressive stuff here for the Toronto Huskies. And the extra point is good, making it 31-10. A minute 21 to go in this game, but it is all but over already, despite each team having 3 timeouts apiece. So now Josh Lambo is going to go ahead and kick this one off, heading back to Pittsburgh here. And it's going to get returned from the 10-yard line out past the 30, past the 35 to the 36. Good return there. Good starting field position for Pittsburgh. As you see, Jacoby Caldwell not having a very strong performance today, with a couple of interceptions, both inside the end zone. So dropping back is Caldwell, looking back over the middle, and it is batted down at the line of scrimmage there. So it's 2nd and 10 now at the 36-yard line. Empty backfield. And this is going to be Caldwell looking to that left-hand side and almost intercepted again. That was big play Slade getting his hands on the football. That could have been another pick 6. So now it's 3rd and 10 here. 4 receivers set this time. Caldwell drops back. He's going to look over to that left-hand side. And this time it is intercepted by big play Slade. That's his 3rd interception on the season, and that is Jacoby Caldwell's 3rd interception of the day. As at this point, he was just trying to make something happen, and the defense knew it. Nice play there by Darius Slay on the sideline. Get both feet in. Get the interception, secure this victory. It's now under center here with a minute 6 to go. It's going to be a handoff to none other than Aaron Jones, who has a bunch of room up the middle. That's going to help out his average, as it has been very poor today. So that's a Toronto first down there already, as if they needed any more confirmation that they were going to win this game. So now back under center in the I formation once again. 23 seconds and counting. As going to be another handoff here. Aaron Jones getting a couple of yards. And that should be the final play of the day here, as we have reached the end of the 4th quarter. 0's on the clock, and your Toronto Huskies win this one at home over the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-10. An absolute dominating performance from the Toronto Huskies team here. One that I don't think a lot of people saw coming, especially considering the fact that the Huskies only had 185 yards of offense. But it didn't matter, because this Toronto team played just as I stated, as a team, in all 3 facets of the game. Special teams, defense, offense, they all scored today. And this is going to finish up this episode here. As you see, though, great game from Trevor Nickerson. Outside of that 1 interception, he was 15 of 17 for 174 yards, 88% completion percentage. Really good stuff from Nickerson, and that's what I'm saying. The stats may not look pretty in terms of at the end of these games. However, if you watch the way he played today, he was phenomenal. And then Aaron Jones struggled today in the running game. And then receiving, as you got to see, Aaron Jones, ironically enough, led us in receptions with 6 out of the backfield. He actually had more receiving yards than he did rushing yards. And then CeeDee Lamb, once again, putting together a nice performance, 74 yards through the air. And a handful of sacks led up a little bit by everyone. It wasn't just one player. Everybody was struggling to help protect Trevor Nickerson today. And then the big thing, though, were the turnovers. 2 interceptions for Jaquil Easter and 1 for Darius Slay here. So a total of 3 interceptions on the day for this defense and a blocked punt from special teams. All right, coming out of that game, this is going to finish up this episode as we are going to be back at home once again in Week 10, hosting the Arizona Cardinals. So you guys are going to have to come back and see what happens in that one, as your Toronto Huskies are sitting at 3-5 already, having a pretty good start to the season as they've started to turn things around, winning 3 of the last 4. So it's pretty good mid part of the season here, and that's exactly what we stated at the beginning of last episode, is that this middle part of the season they were going to really have to pick it up in order to make a run for the playoffs. And that's exactly what they've started to do here with 3 wins here out of the last 4 weeks, and now setting up a possible 4th win next week against the Arizona Cardinals at home. Can we continue our winning ways? You will have to tune back in to find out. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. My name is TayVikes28, and I thank you for watching.